everybody. This is Big Stack Numismatics. I want to say a special welcome to all my fellow coin collectors out there. I got a real special one for you today. I'm really excited to show you and talk a little bit about the history of this coin. This is the Lafayette Dollar. This is the first and only commemorative silver dollar that was done prior to the 1980s. Okay, so this is part of the pre-modern commemorative set. And this particular coin features General Lafayette and George Washington side by side. And yeah, I'm really excited to show this one to you. So I'm going to, before I even bring it up close, I don't know if you can tell from the distance, but this particular coin is in mint state, but the obverse here has some pretty incredible toning or pattern on this. I don't know if you'd call it toning, but it is definitely a detraction from the coin. So this is the Lafayette Dollar, and it's, if I, based upon how I tilt it, you can kind of see there's like a yellow tint. I don't know if it's going to show up well. Let me get it a little bit closer. There you go. You can kind of see it now. Okay. So when you look at it head on, you definitely see that yellow coating pretty strongly. Okay. Boy, the reverse looks pretty spectacular, though. There's no evidence of that at all. You can see the fields are nice and smooth. This was graded by ANACS as a mint state 61. And I have to believe that this could grade even higher if it didn't have such a modeled obverse, right? But still an awesome coin. There's 36,000 of these that are out there. They originally minted 50,000, and they ended up melting 14,000 several decades later back at the mint. A little bit about this, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of this particular man, Lafayette, as well as the history of the coin. And then after, a little bit about some thoughts I might do with this specific coin. First of all, General Lafayette was a French soldier who in 1775, a young man, I think he was barely an adult, heard wind of the colonial uprising over here in America and basically pledged support to the colonies as opposed to Britain. And of his own accord, got together a ship and used his family's fortune and everything like that, outfitted it himself, and came over to help. And most of us have probably heard of Lafayette from school, for those of us that have studied any of the Revolutionary War. But he enlisted as an officer, and many people were turned away. There's a lot of actually European sympathizers that would come over, and you know, based upon their applications, many of them were turned down. His was accepted, and he wanted no pay. He just wanted to be able to help in the war. And eventually, you know, he's a smart guy, and he was recognized as being from a wealthy family in France. And so actually, on the advice of Benjamin Franklin, they took him in, and Benjamin Franklin advised Washington and the other powers that be at that time to not put him in harm's way, because he was a valuable ally, because their house was a wealthy house in France. And suffice it to say, this General Lafayette wanted to be close to the action, and he actually rose to the rank of Major General in the army, and served, and was one of George Washington's closest allies in the war. He was part of the force, alongside with George Washington, that were victorious at the Battle of Yorktown and the surrender of General Lord Cornwallis. So once the victory of the American soldiers was guaranteed, he also brokered peace between France and the colonies. And so he was a very revered personage in U.S. history. And so in fact, if I remember correctly, after a stint of going back to France, he was actually put in jail for a while. Napoleon freed him, I believe, and then he actually became a gentleman farmer and ended up coming back to the United States about 40 years later, and he became an honorary U.S. citizen, one of 8, I believe, that have been afforded that luxury. He visited all of the states at that time, and I think it was it 24 or 36 different states, and he was given property in Florida, and I believe his family and heirs were allowed to be American citizens as well for all time. So he was definitely a revered person in America. And so anyway, fast forward to 1899, and there was some legislation that was passed to present a monument in Paris in honor of General Lafayette, and it was money raised by American school children. They raised $50,000 to have this cool monument erected in Paris. And so, along with it, they decided to mint 50,000 of these commemorative coins, again, that feature Lafayette and George Washington side by side. And they were selling these for $2 a piece. And there are 36,000 remaining. So anyway, that's a little bit of history of the man. And of course, if you've seen Hamilton, and there's a cool history can be learned about this guy. But yeah, he was a very, very influential person and one of the people responsible for helping America to win the Revolutionary War. So, all right, a little bit about this. The value of this particular coin, or I should say, just in general, the Lafayette dollar has gone up recently. And I'm just going to look at the PCGS website here for a second. And, they're saying that a piece that's an MS61 is book value is about $800 right now. And, of course, it goes up tremendously. $1,100 for 62, $1,300 for MS63, and $2,000 for MS64. Book values, of course, auction values tell the further tale. And there are some that you can find for those amounts. But the question is do I keep this coin? And I love this coin. I love this Lafayette dollar. But a couple options. Do I send this out to either PCGS or NGC to have it regraded and reslabbed? Do I perhaps consider having this coin conserved by one of those same outfits before they do that? My fear of doing that, if I were to send this out to say NGC and say, all right, do your coin conservatorship, where they could potentially, I don't know if they could remove some of that that yellowing, and then would it regrade differently, or would they do that and then it comes back as a clean coin? That would be the worst case scenario. Or do I just leave it like this? I like the coin. I especially like the reverse. It's just such a it's a beautiful reverse. But yeah, the obverse it gets in the way a little bit, I think, that yellowing. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that I should just leave it as is, enjoy the coin for what it is? Or do we take the chance at sending it into either PCGS or NGC and either getting it reevaluated and reslabbed, or potentially having the coin conserved prior to that? So anyway, just leave your vote in the comments below. I sure would appreciate that. Like I said before, this is the first and only silver commemorative dollar prior to 1980. Another cool thing about this is that this coin right here is the first U.S. coin that features a U.S. president in George Washington. You have Lady Liberty and prior, all through the 19th century, but the first time you see a U.S. president is on this coin. And I believe this is also the first time. No, I take that back. This is the second time you have a foreign dignitary on a U.S. coin. I think the Isabella commemorative quarter comes before this, shortly before, and that would be the first time you had a foreign monarch on U.S. coinage. But yeah, so happy to show this off, and curious what your thoughts are on what to do next. So there you have it, the Lafayette dollar. Hard to find. So All right, that's it for today. This is Big Stack Numismatics. I sure appreciate you stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll be back at you next Saturday. Have a good one.